So this is David Aston. Check 1 2 1 2. Hello, Monk. Hello, cat.
Hello. Hello.
Is this which cat is this? Tibbles?
No, it's Tig.
Tig?
Yep.
Tigger?
Well, it's short for Tigger. Tigger's a boy's name, so
Tig.
she's Tig.
Yeah, that's bit. I was watching this YouTube video, absolutely funny. There was this weird coincidences, like this guy got all these sevens on a display, and what was it? A dragonfly landing on a woman's arm that just happened to have a tattoo of the same fucking dragonfly. So it looks like it was.
Whoa.
So absolutely astronomical and once in a lifetime sort of coincidences. Or like this weird story of these two people met briefly at 8 years old, and yet they ended up by coincidence meeting again and getting married.
Yeah,
Didn't
that
reckon
one
it.
I heard. I read that one.
That just make you wonder if there's actually is some sort of cosmic Joker god or something.
It's what Carl Jung calls synchronicity.
Yeah.
Carl Jung would have had a field day with that one, especially with the tattooed one.
Fuck it, might as well just start.
Okay.
Okay, so hello and welcome again to another episode of whatever I'm going to call this. I might just call it the whatever show, or I couldn't be bothered to title it show. That's the way it goes, the best YouTuber on the planet, apart from my guest, obviously, and this is...
Hi, I am Monk of Magnesia, also known as Jimmy, and this is me cat.
Little sweetie pie. She will be giving her opinion on the is there a possibility that cats and dogs can ever find racial harmony, cat or doggle harmony or whatever.
She already disagrees. Look at that. She's giving it the tongue. No way.
Hey. But basically, I suppose you could call this Avengers Infinity War special. And oddly enough, it's all sort of interlinked, bizarrely. Now, recently we had the death of Dicto, the creator of, or co-creator, as some websites claim, of Spider-Man, right. A legend in comics, who actually upset Matrix Lord 212. He was having a heartfelt moment on his podcast, and who blundered in going, "Hello, me." Yeah, I buggered it up. Basically, he created the costume for Spider-Man, the idea for Spider-Man. He wrote it, he illustrated it, he did the same thing for Doctor Strange and many others, and apparently he lived in poverty. Well, in a weird sort of modern-day mirroring of this story, there's a modern-day writer and artist for Marvel, the creator of Thanos, actually, is one Starlin, who has left Marvel a few weeks or months ago, I believe, over something to do with not getting a job or not getting enough money, which is curious because that is exactly one of the problems Ditto had. So what's your take on all this? Because apparently it doesn't seem to have changed.
Well, he was 90 years old when he died, so...
Yeah.
And they're not sure... Or do they know what he died of? Besides natural causes?
He died of death.
Was it natural causes or a heart attack, or did he have a stroke that killed him? But he was 90 years old. It was not like he was going to live to 120. No one has done that yet. I hope that he died peacefully and quietly, and maybe even in his sleep. But it was time for him to go.
Perhaps he's gone to one of the dimensions protected by Doctor Strange.
Yeah, he's always at his drawing board.
No, he's gone to a heaven where he can write and illustrate to his heart's content, and everything's in the perfect comic you'd ever imagine.
The perpetual comic illustrated by him.
That'd be rather nice.
Only by him. That'd be nice, but he gets no breaks. He has to do it for all eternity.
But the issue does seem to be, even now, that creators are not getting what they're supposed to be paid. And in the case of Marvel, you've heard about how Marvel Studios has perhaps too much control, hence why the original guy who was directing Ant-Man left after 8 years of actually being in charge of the bloody thing.
Well, remember, at one time, Marvel was bankrupt.
Oh, yeah. In the 1990s.
Yeah, the reason that they started doing all these superhero movies was to make money because they were bankrupt. And when they were bankrupt, they didn't have money to pay anyone. They are not the artists, not the writers, not anyone, because they were bankrupt. They had no money.
They sold off a shitload of characters.
Yep. And that's
some here, some that.
That's one reason why he wasn't getting paid. It wasn't that we're not going to pay you, thanks for your work. It's we don't have the money anymore. So that's why they went into the films.
Yeah, weird. Very strange. It kind of stinks, though. So basically, for those that don't know, as Jimmy and I pointed out, in the 1990s, they were in basically dire straits. Yeah. Real big trouble financially. So they sold off Spider-Man to this, the Avengers to that, the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, who, of course, had that really, really successful and critically acclaimed movie. And that's a perfect example of the disaster it caused. You had properties essentially having to be turned into a movie before the rights revert back to Marvel. And now all that's happened. Spider-Man went back to Marvel. Essentially, they got the whole gang back, more or less. But still, the ones who don't profit are the creators and writers. And in the old days, thankfully, it's a problem with royalties. Now it seems to be a problem with creative control. That's why this guy called Starling, nothing to do with the other Starling, essentially walked out because he was feeling he's not being. Actually, he wasn't being paid properly, but he was also. I think he was actually didn't get a job as an editor or something, and also the direction of the diversity, our favourite fucking thing. Yes, because apparently the lawyers and the bankers and the creditors take money in diversity now, not in that thing called cash, apparently.
That reminds me.
We need more black dollar notes, don't we?
Terry Gilliam, Monty Python fame. Terry Gilliam, great director, just recently lamented about diversity. He said it's no longer can a group of 6 white men trained at Oxford get together and write a television show. Monty Python could not happen today because there's no diversity. They're just 6 white males.
Fair. What was the reaction?
It would not be allowed.
Did they react to that well, or?
Oh, he's been getting a lot of negative feedback ever since he made that statement.
Well, you said something we didn't like. Oh, I couldn't be bothered to read what he said, so I'm going to have a go on him online. Basically.
He made that statement about 2 or 3 days ago. And so it's still recent, still in the news. Everyone, how dare he's not being diverse? Oh, blah, 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 blah.
Diversity's dog shit. Yep. I'll tell you what diversity everybody is. Diversity is pretending that blacks have never been given any chances before and dressing it up, repackaging it so you can resell it to the same customers who fucking bought it back 40 years ago. That's what it is. Anyway, he said as he was getting off his soapbox. I don't mean to frighten the cat. But anyway, actually getting back to that, he's got a point, really.
Yeah, he does.
But the only snag with his viewpoint is that they didn't get forced together by a bunch of suits or executives, did they? They came together like Peter Cook and Dudley Moore through Cambridge and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Through the footlights, through the reviews. That's how they all came together. And, it won't be allowed today, he said, at least not in the BBC. He said it wouldn't be allowed. That it has to be diverse. You have to have a black person. You have to have a woman. You have to have a pansexual. You have to
have a one-legged pansexual who's also wearing an eye patch.
Yep.
And also is dialectic or whatever it is. I can't. I'm making a joke about dyslexic people, and I can't even fucking say it. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's defeating the purpose. It's basically defeating the purpose because here you are trying to give people a chance, and yet you're technically actually preventing certain people who would have had a chance before.
Many years ago, when Rod Serling started his own Twilight Zone,
yes.
He said that before he would write a script, and they would say, well, you have a guy in here smoking, yes, and he's using a lighter, yes. Well, we want you to have him use these matches because these matches sponsor our show. He said so he did his own company, Cayuga Productions, so that he wouldn't have that interference where, sorry, you have to have this in there because of this. He wouldn't put up with that diversity stuff, although his shows were pretty diverse for its time.
Yeah.
But he was going through the same thing, except for instead of diversity, it was our advertisers. You can't have them use a lighter when we have matchbooks as our. Are you smoking? Then he has to smoke this brand. Now you can't smoke. You're smoking. Oh, no. Only if he's the bad guy can you smoke.
Jesus Christ! Product placement is hilarious. There's this film called, what was it? Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Oh yeah.
And there's this scene where the guy from the Addams Family playing this mad scientist,
right.
And he literally is a funny scene where he's got all these product placements. He's doing the whole scene. I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but at one point he's doing his speech, and right next to him, bigger than it needs to be, is some sort of thing for Coca-Cola or whatever.
Right.
In America, you've got all these sodding breaks, commercial breaks, in between. Literally every fucking few minutes. Mm-hmm. So before you've even figured out, even before you've got to the next scene, you've had like fucking 50 commercial breaks already.
That's like
Rape is sponsored by Me Too.
We mentioned Peter Cook earlier at the end of the movie Bedazzled, where he plays the devil. He's mad and he says, "I'll fill the world with advertisements."
Fucking hell. Awesome. Actually, the other version is kind of funny. That bit where he wants to be all powerful. So he ends up as a fucking cocaine drug lord. He gets chased out of his drug cocaine den type thing. But anyway, enough of that. What were we talking about? Yes, we were talking about Thanos. We're talking about Marvel. But seriously, though, I made a comment earlier in one video. Surely after the fiasco of Star Wars and Ghostbuster 2016, they would, and based purely on the feedback from the viewers and even Marvel Comics itself, they would have by now got it into their fixed skull that it's not what people want and it's actually counterproductive.
Right. But no, it's you want what we tell you want.
Yeah. Well,
you can't tell us
what
what
we
you
want isn't to fucking pay $5 for every sodden fucking issue when, as a kid, potentially, we can only fucking afford to buy one once a month.
Yeah.
I mean, there's several real reasons why comics aren't selling as well as they used to be. And along with the price of comics themselves and this bizarre need to have endless titles before you've actually even gotten to one title. You have a few issues, you cancel it, then you start issue 0 of the transsexual spectacular Spider-Man. And then it's this bullshit. It's not writing the characters. You can have political things in it, obviously. I mean, they've had that for God knows how long. Even Doctor Who's had that in the 70s, potentially. The whole Candyman, or, taking the piss out of Margaret Thatcher, the Brigadier. Actually, that was before her. But they don't want some bullshit diversity or some pretentious crap interfering. I mean, at least for British people, we get to watch Doctor Who in one plug, but you get commercials, and now you have diversity interfering with your enjoyment.
That's true. And also, if you're a young child or a teenager, you need about 2 full-time jobs just to afford all these comics.
It's not really sort of conducive to pocket money anymore.
No, it isn't.
I mean, granted, the rate nowadays for pocket money is probably different than, old days. But the whole point is, people are quite particular, particularly young people, even more than adults, I think, on what they're going to spend money on. I mean, they spend a lot of money, especially legal age young girls, on my beautiful fucking delicious frame. Well, you said as his medication started to kick in, and all other things. But it's not realistic. And you would have thought that a company that's been in business for 70 years would know this by now. They would know exactly what works. And especially when their own readers have fucking wrote in the comments section of the comics themselves. And then done YouTube videos online. I say, what? How is this some fucking mystery? Where is the fucking mystery exactly?
And they live in the real world. They go out shopping. They know how much things cost. They're spending money too. Yet they still do it this way. Even something that comes out just once a month, like say Mad Magazine. When I was a kid, Mad Magazine rose from 25 cents an issue all the way up to like $1.25, and now it's close to $5-6.
Interesting you should mention that, actually, because one of the devils on the Facebook, one of her actually posts on Facebook today was all these comics.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was must have been quite old because it was priced $1.25. So I guarantee you, I remember when Doctor Who magazine at the start of the 1990s was actually only £1.50. £1.50 for a fucking magazine.
I have the second issue of Starlog. I bought it when it came out, and I think
Starburst,
$1.25.
Starburst, SFX, Dreamwatch, all those sort of things. Yeah, go on, dude.
No, I think it was $1.25. Starlog when it first came out. I don't know if it's still if Starlog is still a magazine. I don't know.
Oh fuck! Wow. I mean, how do they account for the sheer increase? I mean, it can't all be justified by the paper costs us a lot of money due to printing costs.
And we're running out of trees.
Yeah.
We're running out of trees. How are we going to make paper if we don't have any trees? And how are you going to get the
recycle the recycle and make more paper?
So you get about newspapers.
Or in the case of the super rich, they just all they have to do is recycle all those $10 bills.
I'm surprised daily newspapers still exist.
Really? Holy
By
shit.
By the time you get the newspaper, all the news is out of date.
That's true, actually. Same with Doctor Who magazine. I mean, I personally do. What do you prefer? Do you prefer one of these sort of digital, you call it e-books, or ones that you read on a pad, or do you prefer a good old magazine or a book that you can use as a doorstop?
Yeah, I prefer the book. I prefer the magazine. I don't prefer the e-book.
Like Matrix Lord 212 books. Doorstop. Only joking.
E-books are just a way to ruin your eyes. That's all.
No, they're very good actually. I've never actually read one of those, but I really would honestly like to read one of them in future. If it was by Doctor Who star of the universe, Mr. Turdus Reviews, one of my favourite people, if he did a book, I'd be using each page to wipe my ass on. Mr. Turdus.
You can't do that with an e-book, can you?
No, you can't do it with a fucking Trilby.
Unless you hook the e-book up to a printer and then print the pages.
Ah, well, it doesn't matter. Oh, that's a good point, actually. You don't really... You'd get the book twice over, technically, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
You can enjoy it. Oh, crap.
You just fucking destroyed my entire argument. Shit. Never mind. And on that bombshell, I'm quitting that. Anyway, yeah. So, staying with Thanos, here's an interesting thing. Apparently, there's going to be a collector's edition of Avengers 3 Part 2.5, or whatever it's called, Infinity Part 1. And there was a suggestion that there would actually be 30 minutes extra to the film.
That figures. They always have to do that. Add 30 minutes, add an hour, add whatever. It's just to get more money out of you.
I mean, what would this be? If it's true, but it might be true, but it might not be 30 minutes. But what do you think it could be?
It'll be Holly from Red Dwarf. They're dead.
Holly from Red Dwarf?
Yeah, they're dead. They're dead.
They're dead, Dave.
Spider-Man, they're dead, Dave.
They are dead, Dave.
All dead, Dave.
What? Even Spider-Man? Yes, he is dead. He is dead, Dave. He is dead, Dave. I think it would just be 30 minutes of Thanos doing what Al Bundy did with his crotch. Just going on like that for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Actually, interesting enough, I actually showed Matrix Lord 212 and others this fantastic scene that has actually Dr. Doom killing Thanos.
Huh.
It's a beautiful spread of Thanos. I think it's actually part of a bigger bunch of pages, but basically Dr. Doom comes up to Thanos and asks Thanos whether he still has the Infinity Gauntlet, and he says, "No, but I'm still Thanos, and that will be enough of you." What does Dr. do? He plunges his fucking hand into the chest and kills fucking Thanos. And Dr. Doom says, and that, I'm afraid, that he says something you will find that's untrue.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fucking hell. And the woman who posted it on Pinterest, because yes, I love Pinterest, she said, "This is why I love Dr. Doom." Fucking honest. It's awesome. It's actually like in Heroes when that bedridden villain plunged his hand into the British cat and completely drained him of all his regenerative powers. Because that was in season 3, I think.
I think Benedict Cumberbatch is better as Doctor Strange than he is at Sherlock.
Oh, speaking of Doctor Strange, there's this belief that he is instrumental in solution the problem of all these people being killed off, along with Tony Stark having some sort of watch. Something to do with this scene earlier on in the film. I haven't seen it. But how do you think they could actually get out of the conundrum of them being all Dad Dave?
Oh, it's probably just going to be some sort of reverse time thing.
Oh, Christ.
Where Doctor Doom does a spell along with that watch or something so that everyone, right a second before they get killed, don't get killed.
And that's a cop-out, though. That's a big anticlimax.
Yep. Either that or they are dead, but in a parallel universe, they're not.
That's like hiring an escort that you really fucking wanted to shag and she doesn't turn up.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you waited until 2 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Or is it possible that they suggested it might be actually to do with a multiverse, like the new Spider-Man beautifully animated movie, which sees several Spider-Men, including apparently Noir Spider-Man being voiced by Nicolas Cage. Provisionally, Spider-Man into the Spideyverse. It could be about that. That even this is a bit of a cop out. They are, Captain America, etc., but they're not our Captain America.
Right. Yep.
Of course, he looked into all the possibilities and he saw that there was only one fucking reality where they actually won. So that means that in order to save the day, they have to indirectly actually do what whoever or whatever did. So, is it possible it could be somehow to do with feminism, Captain Marvel?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot Captain Marvel's coming. Or going to be.
It's my lucky charm. It wards off fucking irritating bullshit. Actually, I do like Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, who, curiously enough, haven't appeared yet in the Marvel cinematic universe. So my theory, like I wrote on Pinterest, is that they might be introduced together.
Yeah.
Which is diversity, unfortunately. It's a white female feminist, although actually, I'm quite sure Captain Marvel did actually used to be male before.
That's right.
It's a male, why do I keep saying male? It's a male who is now a female feminist character and a Muslim superhero who actually used to be male as well at one point. And also has a big fucking fist that she can whack the living shit out of people. Actually, I love that character. But see, the reason I love this character isn't because she's good for diversity candidates. The reason I like it is because it's totally fresh. In every, plus it's beautiful. The first collected, sort of graphic novel is really good. It's really fucking good for getting people started. And there is no political correctness in it, really. And the best thing of all comes across as that she actually comes across, I believe, in the same way that Spider-Man, Peter Parker, originally came across back in the early 60s. A school kid who gets amazing powers, then learns how to use her amazing powers while also dating.
Mm.
That's originality. Borrowing, but not ripping it off. Putting your own unique spin on it, but not to the detriment of either characters.
But she is
patting himself on the back for saying it in a really posh manner. Anyway,
she's blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Aryans. She could be a Nazi.
Pardon? She could be a what?
A Nazi. She's blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
Really? Oh, she could be a pure Aryan, Heil Hitler.
Yeah.
A feminazi.
That's right. That'll be a twist. The hero's a Nazi.
When I'm warding off anything I don't like, when I want to congratulate myself, I would give myself 3 Lucky Salt toothbrush. Actually, I'm wearing this, well, because this is very similar to one of the Doctor Who magazine comic doctors, who was actually based after Nicholas Briggs, who is voice of the Daleks on everything, if that ever existed, apparently. But anyway, while we're on the subject of superheroes, isn't it really true that the problem is, after this whole diversity thing and feminism and blah blah finally runs its course and doesn't really get the sales anymore, isn't that really the end of the effectiveness of comic characters full stop and the industry as a whole?
It might be. There are already articles that there's too many superhero movies now, and
it's not original anymore, is it? Really?
Right. People getting tired of them. They want to see other things rather than a comic book come to life. Just a couple days ago, the Ant-Man movie came out.
Oh, Ant and the Wasp.
Yeah, Ant and the Wasp. That came out a couple days ago. I guess it's doing well, but I thought, see a movie about Ant-Man? And I guess they want to, because how does it tie in with the Infinity Wars? And
don't mention that Hank Pym was a fucking wife beater in the fucking comics. Don't mention that. Yeah, I think we got away with it so far.
No.
Actually, one thing I have to admit, the one reason I'd go to see that is actually because it's got Michelle Pfeiffer, and she doesn't seem to do anything. She doesn't really do movies that much nowadays, does she? But it has to be said, from what I've seen, she's still damn beautiful after all these years.
I didn't know she was in it.
No, yeah, she plays Wasp.
Oh, she's Wasp.
I think so. No, I think there's the Kirk Douglas one in the original Ant-Man, and then you got the one who's the younger one taking over, and then you got the younger Wasp. And the original Wasp is Michelle Pfeiffer, who was the original Ant-Man's wife, and she got caught in some sort of dimensional bollocks, and in this they actually travel in there and rescue her or something like that. And she's another fucking movie star who's played more than one comic character.
Yes, she has.
Ben Affleck, Daredevil, Batman. And if you've seen the film Hollywoodland, he technically also played the guy who played Superman.
Hollywoodland's a good film.
Oh, yeah. George Reeves.
I think more people should see that.
That's a very good film. Very good film.
Very good detective movie.
Yeah. Right, so it's all a very sort of detective thing. For those who don't know, and for those who haven't fallen asleep yet, basically the whole point, George Reeves was not the first Superman on the moving image. That was actually somebody else before, I think a movie or something. Oddly enough, Batman was already being turned into the same thing as well, curiously enough. But anyway, George Reeves was the original TV Superman, a huge hit, unfortunately for George Reeves. And anyway, just like Buddy Holly, by the end of the 50s, sometime in 1959, he killed himself. Was it murder? Was it suicide? Was it by accident? They actually do that. They actually show you several possibilities. They actually show you the same scenes at the end, don't they?
Yep.
You got the girlfriend having a go at him, because I think he wasn't really the one for all that rock and roll dancing type stuff. But it's such a good film. It really is. It's one of Ben Stiller's fucking best work.
Not Ben Stiller.
Were you old enough to watch George Reeves as Superman, or?
I saw the repeats.
No offense, Monk.
Now, I was born in '62, so I saw the repeats.
So you would have seen the original Batman with
Adam West and Burt Ward. Yeah, I saw that first time it aired.
Cool. Good.
Hollywoodland. I love so much I bought the DVD.
Hollywoodland is actually what Hollywood was actually originally called.
Right. It was originally called Hollywood Land.
Yeah.
And the sign originally said Hollywood Land.
And there's actually a lady who threw herself off that. One of the most weird stories I've ever heard. And oddly enough, before this, I was talking to him about. We actually caught that at the start, didn't we? Coincidences. Well, that's where we started. So here's an idea. Let's end it there. Basically, I think in 2030s, a actress called Peggy something, threw herself off this Hollywood sign. The irony is, this was because she wasn't getting anywhere as an actress. And the big coincidence and creepy thing is, before the day after she killed herself by throwing herself off, she got a letter. Her father actually found that she'd actually got a letter, and she'd been accepted for a play where the character does what? Throws herself off something and kills herself. Weird. Until then.
But true. Believe it or not.
Yeah, believe it or not. Anyway, that was a wonderful broadcast. I enjoyed myself. And basically, until next time, we will be leaving the Twilight Zone, or if you can remember even further, the Night Gallery, which is another Rod Sterling TV show. Or even that one with Boris Karloff's presenting it.
Yeah.
I know lots of things, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, until next time, thank you, Monk, for joining me, and also my feline friend. Feline rights, yeah. Down with dogs. And also, I would like to say thank you to all the viewers, even the ones who down from this video. Until next time, keep rocking, and see you later, alligator.
Peace and love.
And I'm going to cut it.
All right.
I figured out where the button is.